Welcome to ComicCast issue number 174, brought to you by Dwayne's World Comics and Games, 457 East Sullivan Street in Kingsport, Tennessee. They carry comic books, graphic novels, statues, toys, and gaming merchandise, including miniature games, board games, and RPGs. Check them out, Dwayne's World Comics and Games, Kingsport, Tennessee. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Adam Williams.
I'm the fucking eye.
This is Gaumer.
Wow, Adam's excitement for that was pretty...
The Tempest
Worth
you
it.
cannot.
Worth it.
We're at ComicCast Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Wherever you get social with your media, you are listening to this somewhere in the universe. Make sure you smash that like button, share out the link, subscribe to the channel. You can hear a very fun pre-show at patreon.com/ComicCastPod. It was great. It was exciting.
That was good.
Learn how to sell yourself, Gomer. So what's up? Welcome back, Gomer. The show was so much better without you.
Thanks. It was great. I enjoyed the week off.
I forgot to show off these fancy tools we have. Sorry
Go
about
ahead.
that.
We paid a lot for that.
We have like a banner now too, right? Isn't there something like a ticker? They said there's a new update.
A ticker?
You got a ticker.
That's way
I
too
don't know
much
how to.
work.
I don't know how to work the ticker yet, bro.
Boogie.
Ticker
Boogie
tape.
did not do the homework.
No, there's a ticker in there somewhere. I just don't know how to use it. Sorry.
That'll be interesting. We can have live news.
Not
That's
pissed.
right.
I'm pissed at you, Gomer. Why didn't you listen to the show last week? You're usually hanging out in the live chat.
I was honestly busy. If I could have hung out in the live chat, I would have hung
better
out on
things
the
to
show. No, my dad was in town. My old man was in town. My dad is a very eccentric person.
Yeah. When you gonna get it through your head, Boogie? You are not Gomer's dad.
Yeah.
We've told you this many times.
I don't have an answer to that.
Yeah.
3 people just left. 4 people just left after Adam said that. Like, yeah, these guys are idiots.
Well, I
I'm
didn't come
bouncing.
in here. I didn't come to hear about daddy issues. I got.
Yeah, what you get?
Yeah, comic book issues.
Massey's book.
Hello.
There's that weird skate. Did I? I didn't show this last time, did I?
No.
Yeah, that's new on me.
It's like this
It
whole
shouldn't
thing's
be.
a
He
blur.
sent it to the live chat. Thanks for listening when Adam's talking.
Sorry.
I don't know who that is. Do you all know?
That is little Jimmy
Banjo
Williams.
player.
Little Jimmy Dickens.
Looks like that dude that used to have a channel, a show
I
on a
think it
local
is.
channel.
That's my
It was,
honest guess. That
Robbie, what was it? Spencer. Robbie Spencer. That's who it looks like.
If Massey shows up, I want to ask him.
He ain't coming unless we're plugging his stuff. Come on, you know better.
Massey, I'm plugging Holler. Is he on
Holla.
yet? Holla one.
This is what happens when we don't plan things to talk about.
I thought last week was this week, and I was going to talk about movie trailers. So yeah, I didn't plan nothing. I have.
Well,
no
what'd you think about Black Widow and Wonder Woman in 30
Black
Seconds
Widow
to
was
Live?
okay, but it was just a Marvel movie. The other two were just kind of garbage. Remember when movie trailers used to tell you what was going on in the movie?
No.
No, now they
What
just
are you
want you to
talking
watch.
about? Yes.
Well, they would
used to give you.
or I remember when trailers would show a bunch of stuff that would not actually make the final cut of the film.
Well, sure,
Yeah.
but you would still get some idea of the gist of the movie, and neither of those did that. Ghostbusters is probably the biggest disappointment I've seen in a trailer all year, man.
Oh, really?
It was
Wow.
terrible.
No
Well,
kidding.
if you deep dive it, it actually tells you a lot. If you deep dive it,
Deep dive what? It's all built on nostalgia. You can't just build a movie on nostalgia.
it's continuing. It's continuing some of the stuff that happened in the first film.
By
in
showing
regards
off the car and the
in regards to
uniform
like
and
the mine that they're at is I forget the name of the stuff they're mining there, but it's the same stuff that was in the building that blew up in the first movie because the pillars in that building were made of a specific material that
Are you
would
just
concentrate.
excited because it's Ghostbusters? Is that the only reason?
I think that's a lot of it, man.
I think
excited for
it's
I
Is
like
this
that
still
kid
a-
from Stranger Things.
not
so
that
I
it's
can't stand that kid, but
I'm not a big fan of him either, dude.
not that it's Ghostbusters, but that it's a logical continuation of the story and not BS.
See, I'm not sure that it is that. Is this still a comedy franchise? I didn't have a single giggle in the trailer. There should have been a joke.
I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Is this still or is it just an action? Is it Goosebumps? Because that's what this felt like.
We don't know yet. Yeah, we won't know.
But yeah, we have no idea because, again, I go back to my original statement. These trailers tell us nothing about what's going on. Black Widow, at least you had some idea of what was going to go on in the movie.
Although I do prefer knowing that Wonder Woman was all eye candy. A trailer that is like tells you the whole movie. You know, I hate that where it's like, okay, well, we know how it ends.
That's the different. I really don't care.
That Wonder Woman.
I've never seen a trailer that was like.
That's why I stopped watching trailers, was because of trailers like that gave everything away. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to stay away from stuff I want to see.
I don't really mind that.
Like, I haven't seen the new Star Wars trailers at all because I want to see the movie.
There's so many Star Wars trailers, dude.
I feel like that Wonder Woman movie is late to the party.
Late to the 80s party.
It's well, not just that. It's like this should have come out a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just some of the stuff it just.
I don't know. Marvel has changed the game in that they've changed what the status quo is, and they're putting out 3 movies a year. That's a lot. If you look back 5-10 years ago, you got a new Spider-Man movie like every 3 years, and they were like in sequels to them. You know, so
I think it might.
I think it just seems like it's.
How far apart was Batman and Batman Returns?
Dude, that was probably even longer because I'm not sure they even had a sequel planned. Nowadays they have the sequel greenlit before the damn first movie comes out. That's awesome, but that's going to get on my nerves so much. I'm be like, what's going on?
I'm just happy I figured it out. I'm not even listening to you guys.
It'd be great if you just put random shit in there, like wrap it up.
Why don't you put Marvel stocks and DC stocks?
Breaking news: Gomer's X Minute has gone 10 minutes this week.
Is it going to go 10 minutes? Though?
It's a big week, man. Next week they have 5 X books coming out next week. Because of the holiday, man.
Why do they not just release comics on Christmas week? Why do they jam your pull box full of stuff?
I know. And Thanks a lot, Jesus.
If you put every current X book end to end, it'll reach the moon and back 3 times.
No, that's a CVS receipt, bro.
Yeah, right. But yeah, next week is awesome for comics, but then the week after, I mean, there's literally like 24 comics. We get Doomsday Clock. I know we usually talk about this at the end of the show, but we
can do it now. This opening sucks. We can talk about next week.
That's kind of where I was moving, but I didn't want to say it.
All right.
But
Skull Digger and Skeleton Boy #1. I'm stoked for that, man.
New Jeff.
Are you? Do you think comics will come out next? You think we'll be able to get comics on the 25th?
No, it'll be the 26th, unless your comic shop's open. And if you're on Comixology, yeah, you'll be able to get them Christmas morning.
If you're
toys.
We had got this thing back on the rails, and Adam's like, "No, I'm stopping this. We're not talking about what comes out next week."
Dude,
hey, Boogie, say hi.
Yeah,
I think I still need to read issue 2.
I think there's 3 Black Label books coming out.
What they were.
Yeah, my receipt's going to be $500.
It's going to be CVS receipt at the comic shop.
Harleen 3 of 3. That's done.
And the Joker Smile too.
Oh yeah, 2 of 3.
Or nice. Killer Smile. Yeah, that's 3
Black Label books. Oh, okay, yeah.
Are we? So we're talking about new books next week.
Shazam #9, dude. Shazam #9.
I don't believe
Suicide Squad #1. I can't wait for Suicide Squad. I'm actually really excited for Suicide Squad.
Doomsday Clock and Shazam coming out on the same.
Right. Is nobody going to talk about Project Xmas by Millar?
Yeah, no. Outright Geekery is supposed to get a review copy of that. We have not yet. They might be really serious about this being like a super surprise. So,
yeah, it was like top secret.
It's super top secret. I think it's a Huck sequel. I don't know if anyone read it.
Oh God, I hope so.
I loved Huck so
blew my mind.
much.
I'm so excited now.
It was so good. That's what I'm hoping it is, because they're talking about doing a show, a Huck show.
They should, man.
On Netflix.
That should have never just been a miniseries. That book was so good.
He wrote it very well, though, for a miniseries. You know, it left you wanting more. But yeah, dude. And the last thing he did, the Chrononauts all dropping on the same day. No one else read that, I don't think, except me.
Serenity says Doomsday Clock. I stopped that over months ago. Well, that was issue 11. You didn't.
You better pick it. Yeah. Pick it back up.
How about the book of the week poll is Suicide Squad #1. Well, it's all #1. Come on. Narcos, because I needed a fourth book.
That's
The Lolo Woods #1.
And
another one of those.
I hope that doesn't
Joe
win,
Hill
I'll be
books.
honest.
Wow.
What about You're the Villain?
I would rather not read it. I don't want to read any of
Batman Who Laughs.
So not Project Xmas, this big mysterious super secret book.
Oh my gosh, you complain every week about the book of the week poll. Just let Boogie do it. And then I'll complain every
that
week.
is what
I'm
happened.
just asking why the super secret Project Xmas by Netflix's Mark Millar was not.
Why have you ripped everything that Mark Millar has done until now?
You've
not cared about anything he's done, but because that's Christmas in it, now you're mad. Now you want it on the book of the week.
It's not necessarily a Christmas book. It's Project Xmas is the name of the secret.
Okay, what if it was called Mark Millar Top Secret? Would you be excited about it? No, you wouldn't.
I love Christmas.
Actually,
no, you wouldn't. It has Christmas in it, so you're excited.
Actually, the gimmick of it would sadly have me.
Okay, you're in charge of the book of the week poll moving forward.
What's the fourth book on the poll?
I'm not. I'm just asking a question. I'll be quiet.
Don't be quiet.
Done.
Do you want me to just drop you off? We could do that again.
Sure.
That's a fun bit.
That'd make Chad Johnson happy.
Skull Digger and Skeleton Boy #1. The Jeff.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Well, those are good choices.
I want to see. I'm excited for that Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen, the Batman Who Laughs versus Lex Luthor. It's like the last end of all this crap. You know what I mean? It's finally going to be done, I think.
Apex Lex.
And yeah, it's like Tinian that's riding it.
So. He didn't kiss Perpetua's ass for 30+ issues of Justice League just to be called Lex.
That's right.
He's Apex Lex.
Apex Lex.
You don't get Scout, do you, Gomer?
Yeah. Money Shot.
There's that book, Eskimo Kisses. It sounded interesting.
No, I'm not sure. I'll check. I'll see if that comes in.
King Thor's wrapping up.
Who does Money Shot? Is that Vault or that's Scout? I get those confused.
I thought that was Image for some reason.
No, Money Shot I think is either Vault or Scout. Sorry, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm. Hey, there's Hoosier hanging out in the chat. What's up, dude? Yeah, it is Vault. Yeah, so I don't know if we're getting Scout or not. I'll have to look. I think so, but I'll have to look.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Adam. See, that's how you do it, Boogie. That's an adult conversation, grown-ups.
Adult conversation.
As we both have toys in the background. Everybody be quiet. Gomer's talking.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. No, I don't know if we're ready for that. Hoosiers over there at Get Valiant, man. They interviewed, I can never say his name, so I just say his name's Dinesh. He's over there at Hive Mind. They're doing like the Bloodshot movie, and they got a whole, like a bad idea, quote unquote, a bad idea planned, which I think is a whole new publishing line. We're not sure yet. Big stuff going on over there, but there's a great interview if you go check out their YouTube channel. Very good. I want
to say congrats for being our first comment ever on Periscope. Welcome to the show.
Nice.
Awesome.
What else did we? I think we hit it all. Is there anything else coming out next week?
Dude, there's so much.
Oh, what about Hellblazer? Is anybody picking up that second John Constantine book?
Yeah, totally.
I think I'm down to get it if Dwayne has it. That's always the end of when I grab just a new #1. If he doesn't order the #2, I just don't read it anymore.
Yeah. He's a true collector, everyone.
I will sell anybody everything in my closet that's comics related. I don't want them. I just want to read physical copies and then them magically disappear.
That's awesome.
Sorry.
Boogie's going to open his own comic shop. It'll be a stand on the side of the road, like a vegetable stand.
I'll just put them out in like the Halloween candy bowls.
Dude, you should do that.
You wouldn't even be able to. You take your stack of books up to the counter, and Boogie be like, "No, I'm going to read that one. I'm going to read it." He just wouldn't sell them to you.
Yeah,
you put them in his full box.
If you go to doctor's appointments and stuff, just leave them on the table in there.
What I should actually do is take them to the children's hospital, the ones that could be. You know, I don't need to be going in there with like Batman Wang hanging out and give them that book.
Why not, man? These are sick kids. Come on, don't deny them. Bat Wang.
Well, that one guy does collect Jason Inman. He does collects bunches of comics and sends it to troops.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
It costs you some money though. Send it to a base. It'd be better just to send it local.
Yeah. Well, I think you send it directly.
It's all going to be spoiled on the internet by the time they get them over there in Afghanistan and all that.
They should just send them don't they have tablets? They should just give them digital books.
Yes, I'm sure that the United States government wants them surfing Amazon on their tablets meant for, bombing
Well, not Amazon.
Taliban or whatever.
They put them.
Someone tells me this is going to get demonetized too. This is worse than cussing.
About?
It's worse than cussing for YouTube.
We supporting the troops,
dude. Yes, I can't remember. It was yesterday. We did a mini podcast for Talking Balls off air, so we recorded it through StreamYard. Yeah. I legit hit post, and it immediately flagged inappropriate. I'm like, how did you review this? It's been up for 2 seconds. Freaking YouTube, man. YouTube.
Thanks, YouTube.
Ah, man. JD's right. Can't say bomb on a video or an airplane.
I can't say it's the bomb.
Probably not. You got to get flashcards like Jason has.
That's right. I think that's racist.
I'm sorry, like Fuganaut has.
I think that's racist. But whatever.
Anything else?
What else we got? Keep doing it. Keep pushing it.
What am I pushing? How about Matthew Rosenberg's going to be here next week?
I can't wait. He wrote probably my favorite X-Men run of the year, even with all the Dawn of X stuff. That multiple man run was epic. My favorite X-Men character. Can't wait. I'm so excited. He's going to want to talk about Hawkeye and Ronin.
No, dude, I think he'll talk about anything, man. I really do. What's up, Oni? I think he'll talk about whatever we want. So show up in the live chat and bring your questions. And we're going to find out
what is this 4 kids.
I'm going to say, hey, you're not Lex Luthor from Smallville.
We're going to find out what his favorite Rocky movie is. Hey, he's coming to Conapalooza.
You should go see him. Get a booth.
Nah, I'm good. Tired of begging people to stop and talk to me and Adam. It's not very much fun.
It's hilarious. It's my favorite.
That's what it is, dude. It's like being at a flea market.
My favorite
2 for 1. Stop by and talk to us.
We're giving away comics. That's where you should give away all your comics.
Now, we told the story on here before. We were giving away. We had a sign up that said free comics. Ask us how. And then the guys beside us had comics for
like
sale
a pyramid scheme.
$2, and they're stopping and looking at theirs and not looking at ours. It's like ours says free, and people won't look at them.
People don't want that nasty free stuff.
So it goes to show people would rather spend money and be left alone, than actually converse with you.
100%.
Yep.
Next time you have to
that's ours.
We'll give you a comic and $1. If you come talk to us.
Yeah,
JD wants to know if anybody saw The Boys season 2 teasers.
Oh yeah, dude.
No, I did. I'm excited for it though. Yeah.
I think I saw it. I don't remember it though.
It's whatever is all bloody at the beginning. It's just really quick, like a music video, just flashing to all kinds of things.
I just wonder.
That was one of my favorite things of the year. How are we doing that for the end of the year? Are we just going to have one screen category? Or are we going to have movies?
I thought we were doing a movie one and a TV one.
I won't be able to come up with 5 for the movie.
Me either. But that's going to happen, and that's fine. So if Adam's watched 72 shows, he's going to really take the lead in that category.
And we're going to get raked over the coals because none of us have watched Watchmen.
Yeah, and that's fine.
When you say TV, you mean series, right?
Yeah, there you go. So Jason, well, what else would I
want to put that on my list, and I haven't even
because
seen it
you
yet.
can because movies now come on streaming services.
A movie is a movie and a TV show is a TV show.
Oh,
that's good definition. And we're adding crossover and events too this year. Is that right?
Events. Let's just do events.
Will that count as like a crossover? Like if
give me an example.
Like Justice League Black Hammer.
I would call that a crossover. I would call that a mini series.
Oh, so we're gonna have to put that in a mini series.
That's what I would.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So what's coming up on ComicCast next week? Matthew Rosenberg. The 29th, Adam Wade Adams hosts ComicCast.
So it may just explode.
It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be watching from my hotel room. It's going to be great. I can't wait. I can't wait.
You're going to be in your hotel room crying.
Adam is
your baby.
My only rules are you have to hit the plugs. You gotta hit the plugs because Dwayne pays for advertising.
I'm just going, what issue is this? 170. I'll be like, go listen to issue 174 for all of our plugs.
30 seconds of that one.
Dwayne never listens. He'll tune in that week and be like, what the
hell? What's going on? I just imagine that's what Dwayne sounds like. Sorry.
Oh gosh. So
then after that one.
So yeah, Rosenberg, Adam show, and then year-end nominations. That's going to be a full show, right? Just nominations.
That's going to be like 2 hours.
Yeah.
We may not even be able to touch books.
Yeah.
Week, man.
And then the week after we'll open with the winners. So.
And everybody gets to vote on what? Just Twitter.
Twitter. at ComicCast Pod.
You know, you could do like a
or
survey.
we could do it on outright Geekery. That's what we should do.
Can you send me a Google Calendar invite?
What you should do is do it for real, like a survey. What is it? Survey Monkey or whatever. It's like a website you can go to and put a survey there, and then you can share the link out all over the place.
The problem is, will people click on it and go vote versus a
true.
Twitter poll? They're going to see it and vote immediately.
Yeah, I don't know. You're better. We're better off doing it on Twitter, I think, then if that's
So follow.
Still, it's very exciting. A lot of homework I got to do.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good notes I've taken, but there's a lot of stuff I got to figure out.
Very exciting.
We're ready to talk comics?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we have to. TMNT number 100.
This is the landmark issue. Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman, Bobby Curnow, all writing with David Wachter, Michael Dial, Ines, Mateus Santaluca, Adam Gorin, Dan Duncan, and Corey Smith all doing art. Jeez. Rhonda Pattison and Bill Crabtree did the colors, but it only took one letterer, Sean Lee. Thank you, Sean. That's a dope cover. There were a lot of good covers for this. Obviously, it's an issue 100. It's a milestone issue. It had something for new readers and longtime readers, but a whole lot more for longtime readers. I've kept up with Turtles in passing, over the 100 issues, but this issue did a great job of tying up many of the threads and starting a few new ones. I had some trouble following it because I just haven't been keeping up with it. But this makes me wonder. It's solid. The art shined throughout, even though it was a lot different artists on a single issue. And New Year's resolution right now, I'm going to start reading more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's my review of this book. Sorry, I could go beat for beat, but it's kind of silly.
Yeah, Comixology had a sale recently on the whole entire Turtles library, and I was thinking of picking up Volume 1 Omnibus. I think it's like $10 or something like that. But,
yeah.
I heard like a review of like the first Omni. And it seems really cool. And I want to get into it. I just got to find the time to. And I didn't read this issue just because I read the first 2 pages and I was like, I don't know what's going on.
That's the problem.
This is what I didn't read it because I opened the file, saw it was 50 pages, read. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. They saved the story so far. Let's check this out. The story
most of it was ads and covers.
I didn't know half the characters. I was like, I'm good. Gomer can talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, you knew Casey Jones. If you read it, you got the thing that him and his dad have had a falling out. His dad hates mutants and was trying to save Casey in another way. April's got her own thing going on, kind of like a Lois Lane sort of character where her relatives and friends are in positions of power. There's little ninja kids who go to another planet. It's deep, bro. There's a new turtle. There's a 5th turtle called Janika, who's awesome. She's got like Wolverine claws.
I don't need a 5th turtle, bro.
Well, no, you don't need it, but it's a growing franchise. They're trying to keep it fresh. It's 100 issues. You have to keep it, you have to keep it going in a way that obviously this is not appealing to new readers because it's 100 issues, but the publisher obviously knows what's going to keep the readers who have kept it going for 100 issues going and keep them engaged. Janika's getting her own, I think, 3 or 4 issue miniseries coming up in January. Splinter's gone. Shredder's back. Anyone who's been keeping up with the Shredder and Hell story, that fit in perfectly with this. And they brought in the artist from that, which was great. This is a win for me, man. This makes me want to read more Turtles. Again, I've only kept up with it in passing, not like reading it, panel for panel, just reading reviews and keeping up with the wiki. TMNT wiki's great for that.
I love how StreamYard, now that Gomer's on the bottom, just happens to be the week that they fix it and bump the pictures up so you can still see them.
I love it. Thank you guys at StreamYard for making.
Hey, do us a favor. If you're hanging out on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button because we have a couple of negative stalkers that follow us around and thumbs down every
from Talking
video.
Ball.
Yep, that's where they come from. It's from Talking Balls.
That's fine.
Just smash the like button, help out the analytics.
If they're listening, you're idiots.
I was hoping it was going to be a Music City Bowl. Boog, you guys.
I was going to be down there
over to Nashville.
I'm glad because I'm going to be in Nashville and leaving the day, like right before the game happens down there. So I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
But,
sorry. Well, we spoiled, man. We're going to spoil the books.
What happened?
Splinter's gone. And is he really? This is like the second time he's died in this 100-book issue. So
JD shows up for the first time and you're pissing him off. Thanks,
yeah,
Adam, did you read it? Did you read this?
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, he
Man, I
bought a
know that
copy.
Oh yeah, you held it up. Sorry.
This is the 1 in 10 variant.
It's awesome, dude. There's a lot of good variants for this too.
So what did you think? You've not read any Turtles.
I just kind of went along for the ride, and the whole time I was thinking, you know what? I really like that Archie series with all the different characters. So that's what this reminded me of, was the Archie series of the Ninja Turtle books. And just
what Archie series?
The
old school?
Yeah, the old school,
Okay.
like kind of cartoony, because they were constantly pumping in new characters, and that's what I liked, was just the different mutants, the different characters.
And half of the city now is like supposedly mutants because of that one off group, like they're mutant terrorists. So that's going to be a new ripple moving forward with the series, and that's nice. And Bebop and Rocksteady were so fun in this.
Yeah,
the little dinosaur pet.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And the I guess you'd call it a cliffhanger or whatever at the end of this was interesting.
There are a few cliffhangers, and it wrapped up. Yeah, it's a win for me, man. But again, I'm not reading Turtles.
I was gonna say, are you gonna read any more Turtles?
Yes, definitely. Cool. It's a New Year's resolution to read more Turtles. I had so much fun with that Shredder in Hell miniseries. It was so good.
Yeah, I read the first issue. I didn't know what was going on, but it looked cool. Yeah. And the whole entire concept is awesome. Yeah. So I'd like to read that too.
Awesome.
And here in this, like, Shredder's like a headless horseman in this.
It's I think he's back. I think he's back to just regular Shredder now, which will be interesting to see where that goes, because he's supposed to be like good guy. I think he's taken over as like the sensei.
In this, he really was, as Michelangelo would say, a shred head.
On that note, are we ready to move on?
I guess. Do we have to move on to this next book?
Ball. I had to pull up Comixology because I didn't write down the freaking creators on this book. Doom 2099.
It's hard to tell. It was hard to tell.
I told you guys off air, stick with me. Let me go.
Oh, that's right.
And then you guys chime in, because this is going to be a disaster. Written by Chip Zdarsky, art by Marco Castiello, cover by Tom Coker. Wow, is that really all the people? That's all it shows on Comixology.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, dude.
Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. So anyway.
It's Travis Lanham, Corey Petty.
Yeah, I'm sure. I guess Chip Zdarsky lettered it too, huh? Thanks, Comixology. So right out of the gate, years ago, a catastrophic event brought the age of heroes to an abrupt end. Now several mega corporations rule over humanity with the help of the private police force the public eye. And above them, doom rules all. This all sounds cool. But still, there are those who would threaten to buck the system. The future is now this is 2099. I've not read any of this stuff. I didn't read the Alpha issue. I'm not going to read the Omega issue. I didn't pick up any of the other 2099 stuff. I only got this because it's Doom and it's Chip Zdarsky, and that's it. So I swear to you guys, and this is why I want you to sit back and relax, because I don't think anybody knows what in the hell happened in this book. I don't think people know. I went through several reviews and nobody had a clue. Nobody had a clue. They're like, oh, this was a great book. I enjoyed it.
Oh, Jason
and then they just let it go.
Huguenot knows.
So I think this is the way I took the story. I took this as maybe a time traveling Doom from the past shows up to try to take out Doom of the future. But kind of like that Thanos story, right? Where he goes to the future to try to kill himself. But all the reviews I looked at, nobody seemed to have a clue what was going on throughout this. I like this broken, beat down Victor shows up half naked in the middle of nowhere. What I liked is his interactions with Reed Richards. And even people were talking about that. Is this Reed Richards, time traveling Reed Richards, or is this Reed Richards in his head? Because I thought it was Reed Richards in his head. What I liked about this book is just their interactions.
Didn't it turn out that he was Reed Richards at the end?
That's what it looked like on the last page when he's all sprawled out all
whack,
over
bro.
It made no sense. But what I liked was the interactions between Reed and Victor Von Doom, and the dialogue where, what was it he said? The world wants Victor, not Doom. And then he was like, yeah, well, the world wants Reed Richards, not this stretchy, rubbery man running around on adventures.
I'm rubber, you're glue.
I like their
Stupid.
interactions, man. You don't like?
I hated this. No, I hated everything about this.
Oh, that's not being fair.
It is. No, I'm being
If you're
fair.
a Fantastic Four fan, you have to enjoy that back and forth between Reed and Doom, because I think Zdarsky gets the Doom character, but this story just didn't mean anything to me.
No,
It was pointless.
I thought the interactions were pointless because it left you, the audience, not knowing what the hell was going on. So what is the importance of those interactions if I don't know if this is in his head, if it's an alter ego Doom, if it's Reed Richards who's crazier than hell and thinks he's Doom? Those interactions mean nothing to me. I have to read it 3 times, assuming one of those 3 options are the thing to really feel how poignant it is. That Doom's
That's why
crazy.
the book overall didn't work.
Exactly.
The interactions worked, but the book didn't work.
The interactions were left flat because the story didn't work.
Zdarsky should be writing Dr. Doom instead of Christopher Cantwell. That's my final.
I heard that book got better, but
the third issue was all right.
That seems to be Fantastic Four syndrome, where you got to wait until something's good. I was really excited when I opened up the first page and this was bam, not a intro, not nothing, just throw you in there, and I was compelled to keep reading. And then I was like, what is going on? And then I was like, what did I just read? And then I was like, this $20.99, this means nothing to me. This $29 does not interest me at all. I would have never touched this if it wasn't on the home.
Why does Marvel do this stuff? Why do they have events, right? Like Absolute Carnage and like whatever what was the Thor one called? War of the Realms. They're these big drawn out things, and then they make this random crap like $20.99. They don't promote it, they don't push it. Yeah,
that's
that
weird.
Annihilation. It's going on at the same time, and it means nothing.
I don't get it. Spider-Man has been so bad, the Amazing Spider-Man book, because it keeps getting bogged down by these events.
I dropped it because of that crap.
Exactly. At least Friendly Neighborhood is still good. Tom Taylor, thank you. This is the worst thing I read this week. This made no sense. This meant nothing. This was a waste of my time, dude.
Tell us what happened.
Please tell us what happened. You know all of the dark multiverse, and obviously this is dark.
I think we have a Parent Trap.
Don't say I think.
The Fly kind of thing.
I know, but what I think happened is
yeah. We have like a Parent Trap, the Fly thing going on. You know, I think they're a blend of human consciousness. Their minds got blended together because Reed Richards decided to teleport him out of there because the building they're in was collapsing. They didn't go there for the purpose of getting rid of this Doom from the future. It was just Reed Richards' last-ditch plan, and Doom was like, "This is like, he didn't want to do that. He had his own." Are you getting that
from reading other $20.99 books?
No, it's just this. Because you
saw that seems like a lot of guessing to me.
No, it was in the beginning.
I don't know what's going on.
They tell you what happened. I can look it up, I guess, but
I didn't get that from reading the book.
But I mean, it's like
I believe you.
All right,
I do. Maybe I forgot or ignored it because this just doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it didn't grab your attention for some reason. I mean,
that's definitely true.
I put it on the list and wanted to read it, and then I kept putting off reading it because I knew it didn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean that's all $29.99 stuff. It's like.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of that at all.
Is that stuff even coming together?
I'm buying it, but I'm not reading them. You know what I mean? I still haven't had time to read them all, and I want to read Spider-Man 2099, but like I read Spider-Man stuff to get some background story of what it means first, and then I got to dive into like all the Venom and the Ghost Rider.
That's that collector
Conan one, and Doom now.
That's the thing. Something tells me all these read like an annual, and nothing matters. Nothing matters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they connected somehow. I didn't read that the Alpha too. Now the Omega's coming out next week to end it all. And then I guess Tom Taylor's in charge of this whole entire thing, so that's why not Tom Taylor,
Nick Spencer.
Nick Spencer, yeah. So that's why it's just kind of bogging down Spider-Man. He's going to drag it out for a while, I think. So that's unfortunate, but yeah, as far as this book, I thought it was cool, and I think the Doom that at the end is the actual Doom, probably in a Reed Richards body, or a looking Reed Richards body, as opposed to this Doom that you go through the journey with. That is like looks like Doom, but has the powers of Reed Richards with the stretchy arms. So that's pretty cool. We'll see a little switcheroo of powers, and we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to continue to read
one of these.
I think so. Yeah.
This is it. It's a one shot. It's just a one shot.
This.
Yeah. They're all just one shots.
Did we just ruin it for you?
I don't know. I guess if the Omega, whatever, like ends it and combines everything.
That's what I think happens. I think you have Alpha, then the one shots.
I didn't read Alpha, so that's why I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
so.
it just seems to me, just from what you said, you had to guess to like it and then hope to like it more.
No, I didn't guess about what happened. I followed along. That's what happened. But
yeah,
and
I'm not a fan of any of that 2099 stuff, man.
No, for me, it's pure nostalgia. I grew up like third grade buying comics. Like one of my earliest comics I bought was the Spider-Man 2099 series. Like I was like, wow, it's such a great design. It's amazing. So as soon as this one came out, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna buy this. Like, you know. So I'm super excited to see this dude back. You know.
Adam.
Yeah.
I
did not.
Oh man.
I knew better.
I envy you in a way.
Oh, you didn't read it?
No.
Wow. Moving right along.
Wow.
I fussed at him for that, and I didn't read Turtles.
I'm excited for this next one. I think this one's going to be a little bit
this is what I wanted to read.
Controversial. I think we're all
wow, really?
Yeah, I think we're all going to have a different take on this.
Interesting.
I'm excited to
I thought we would all like it and Adam would hate it.
Well, that's typical, though. That's just, come on. That's the easy bet.
That's why
the
I didn't think it was
money.
anything special.
Yeah, Yule brings up a point. He says Marvel doing two of these events at the same time. Like that's I'm not reading the Annihilation stuff, you know.
Well, that's interesting comparison there. How history repeats itself. Annihilation, in its original run, was actually coming out concurrently with Civil War, and I think Annihilation was the better event than Civil War. Yeah, and Civil War sold so much better than Annihilation. But looking back, I mean, Annihilation was it was a bigger scope, but the focus on the characters was so tighter. You know what I mean? The Civil War just meandered all over the place with Wolverine and Punisher and Cap and Iron Man. Everybody is everywhere. But yeah, my bad. Side note, tangent.
Serenity says they were all done in one shots too.
Yeah,
and that's not too bad then. I might read them then if it's just a one shot. You know,
I don't like it. It feels, and I don't like all the tie-in stuff. I like a 6-issue event or 8-issue event. You know what I mean? I want a story. Sure. I don't want just a random one. This was an annual that didn't mean anything.
Absolute Carnage was good. War of the Realms was not good. I like a more Absolute Carnage style event than War of the Realms.
But War of the Realms, still, it was all about the tie-in, sure.
That was my problem.
But I would rather have a 6 to 8 issue story that I can follow. Like there was a beginning and an end to that story that I followed along with. And whether you liked it or hated it or didn't want the tie-ins, you could still read that event without the tie-ins. Sure, they're pitching to them, but you could still read it without them.
Chad Johnson brings up, he says DC's did it proper. And 100%. I don't know if that counts as an event, though.
It's not. It had that one shot, but I don't think you can count that as an event.
It still did a great job as a little miniseries. Yeah,
but that's what an event should be.
Yeah, it should feel.
If they would have had Deceased as its own miniseries, and then had what's going on all over the DC universe in Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman, holy
like Justice League is now, but like it'd be way better doing a Deceased event. Yeah,
I would have bought all that.
Yeah,
DC
man,
would have had all of my money.
All the covers, dude. Jeez, they would make a killing, man. If they brought it to the real continuity
off that. If they would have done it the right way,
a proper event, dude. You're right.
Oh well. What could have been? Que sera.
Yeah, I mean, they could still do it in the future, I guess.
They're doing that on Unkillables, which is basically a Suicide Squad taking on the zombies. That's going to be rad.
That's going to be dope.
Can't wait for that.
They're going to come back with more Deceased. You know they're going to do
it's already planned. Unkillables for February. Yeah.
But that's going to be something different.
Like the
no, I think that's just like a Suicide Squad style team that takes on those zombies during that whole event. It's like that. The events that are going to happen in the next series take place concurrently with the events that happened in the original
one. What I'm saying is, Deceased, you could do a second part because it's open ended at the end.
Sure.
You could jump in because there are people left behind, and you could follow up with that, or you could follow up. Somebody's contaminated in the ship that's leaving to wherever, and you could continue. It's open ended, man.
I mean, I think there's plenty of room for them to actually come to the modern continuity and bring it in and make a big event. You know, I think that'd be amazing.
Eventually, you'll dilute it enough where it'll be like Marvel Zombies, but I don't care.
No, I do care, man. Sit back and wait. Let it build, because the more it's gone, the more we're going to want it. And when it comes back, it's going to be special versus just, now in March, we're going to start Deceased Volume 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make us want it more, man.
Good call.
Let's move on.
Yes. This is you, Jason.
Okay. Dine is easy.
Oh.
I was waiting for Boogie to announce it, but yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing now?
I wanted you to feel special and announce it.
He doesn't let me announce mine.
Dine is easy. Created by Joe Hill and Martin Simmons. Written by Joe Hill. Art, of course, by Martin Simmons. Color assist by D. Knief. Letter Sean Lee. Co-editors Chris Ryle and Megan Brown.
That's 2 for Sean Lee this week.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Go Sean.
What was the other one he did?
Turtles. He did the Turtles. But...
Oh man, no kidding. This is really different. It's a I want to say like a black label or edgy kind of comedy routine. He's got cuss words and adult humor. But it's just this ex-detective, and he does stand-up comedy now. And it's just him just, I guess, trying out different jokes and trying to move on. And I guess how he apparently quit the detective, quit the force because this, I guess, woman killed herself because she was teasing her or making jokes about her or something like that.
Yeah,
is that what you guys got?
They kind of gloss over it, and it comes out of left field. But
seems like he's definitely to blame for it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, she deserved it too at the same time because she was beating her son.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird.
Yeah, but
what do you mean, Gaumer? I think that's spot on.
No. I mean, it was weird to throw that in this story. The way that
way they did it was weird.
The way it was like, no, this is just like a slice of life with just people who are terrible.
Gaumer hijacking reviews again.
Well, you asked me.
How dare you?
Sorry.
But no, I mean, it gave like the flashback, which we read in the preview. We're at the beginning of this book and then the preview that they gave at the end of that last Lock and Key special. And it made me want to read it. And I'm glad we picked this up and decided to put it on the poll because I overall, I liked it a lot. I thought the art was fantastic. It kept my interest, had some pretty good, funny jokes. But in the story, there's this comedian that's like stealing everybody's jokes, and he's getting some big reputation. People like him, besides the comedians. Comedians don't like him. He's making a career for himself. He's going to appear on Leno and a bunch of other things because he's kind of banging this older broad on the side, this manager, a talent agency person. So she's hooking him up with all these good shows, and so people are mad because he's using their material. And so him and his buddy talk about like beating him up. And so he goes out in the back and he's out there smoking, and the guy happens to come out, and they get an argument, and he beats him up, and then walks away. And then that's where he runs into this lady who blames him for killing her sister. And that's what we were talking about right before. Then I guess he gets a call at home, and or then maybe the next day was it, or was that? I think it was the next day, right? Not that night.
Well, it was really early in the morning.
Yeah. So I guess like the comedian that he beat up was murdered, and so he's getting blamed for it. So pretty cool. So it's going to be like a detective story and a comedy story at the same time. Some dark humor, and this is different than anything I've ever read. So I'm going to continue reading it because I liked it.
100% agree. I thought this was incredibly unique. From the beginning, if you take it panel by panel, it almost seems like if they filmed this for like a TV show, it would be like one of those one-shot sort of scenes where the camera never breaks away.
Yep.
And I thought that was done so well. And I thought it might have gone over some people's heads, that sort of craftsmanship in the story. And just so well done. It all came home. I thought this was just going to be a bunch of comedians. The name of the guy his name is Shit Talk Holmes. And I figured, okay, that's a play on what they're going to do in this comic. It's just going to be a bunch of guys telling jokes, being raunchy. And I was okay with that, talking about not being able to afford chicken wings. It was cool. But then they get this lady's sister was, killed or bullied to death, and then she did a bad thing, so it didn't matter. And this dude's like making jokes about it as she's right there, and I'm like, whoa. It just sort of took a different direction than I thought it was going to go. But I still loved it, man. I think it's interesting too how the header is a Shit Talk Holmes mystery. So this is the first of many that are going to come out. Hopefully, I think that's what's going on. But this is cool. I like this world, this dark world. I mean, this could just be real his life. Yeah, just a little slice of life of his life.
So
I thought the
yeah, it's cool.
artwork was so flawless for this type of story because it's a depressing story. So of course I loved it. I love all the layers to this story. And it's like you said, Gomer, it's in a TV show, it's this one long drawn out scene of dialogue that is setting the stage for where we're going to go. And as I'm reading it, I'm like, man, this is a lot. There is a lot they are talking about to set the stage. It's only a 5-issue miniseries. So what are they going to do in the next 4 issues to wrap this thing up? The only thing I didn't like was the woman coming in and talking about the suicide and talking about, beating the kid and all that. It felt forced. I felt like you spent all this time establishing, these characters, and then you just rushed through what should be a huge part of this story.
I don't know. I didn't think it was out of place, and I like that they put it there just because in the beginning, when he was given his stand-up comedy routine, it does a flashback. He tells a joke, and he says, "If there's one thing I learned as a cop, it never makes sense. And when it does make sense, you wish it didn't." And it has a little flashback of him standing at a scene, and you see like a dead body or hand there at the bottom. So that's like, part of why he quit the force. So you're wondering what happens. And then later when this happens, this confrontation.
Sure. I just think it's an awkward confrontation that just magically happens the same night that he beats this guy up and sets up the whole story of this dude is now dead.
Yeah, she's probably waiting for him outside. Yeah, and apparently they were with friends too. So that was weird. It's like a couple
almost like it was an accidental meeting.
Right.
But then it seems so coincidental.
But she knows that he's telling jokes, so it's like they walked past there on purpose to see if he's there, and he
on the same night he beat the crap out of a dude that magically ends up dead later. That's where it felt forced. Overall, I love this story. Dude, when I saw it, like I said, I wanted this to win the Book of the Week poll. I don't even know if you guys were onto this book, but when I saw the cover on the previews, I was like, I'm reading this. This looks awesome. Yeah. And then I saw it was Joe Hill, which you guys know
and that Lock and Key one shot, had a lot of this in there.
Yeah,
and that was good. But
I just love the artwork, man. The artwork is so great. Great
it's like
coloring.
Comedy. It's like comedy noir.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a genre.
It is now.
I just coined the term. Call whoever you have to call in the government because I want my
the coloring on this is so amazing. It's like you can tell these are like the actual spotlights from the stage, just shining on them as they're talking. And people, even when they're in the audience, it comes from a different angle from the lights. Oh, it's so good.
Great stuff. I wouldn't mind hanging out with these lowlifes. Not all the time, but the one dude who's like passed out drunk.
I can do it once a week.
Yeah,
once a week. Where's my beer? Where's my beer?
Yeah, where's my beer? I wasn't
dude.
done with that. Dude saying I need $113, because I need wings and I have twins. And see, when he mentions the twins, I was like, okay, little mention there. That's going to be a part of something later. But then they took this weird swerve where it's like they're forcing it, like Boogie said. And I don't like that. But I'm hoping it comes back in the second issue. It was good enough where I'm picking it up. I can't wait. I want to read more funny.
What about you, Adam? Did you read this?
Yeah, it was a bit wordy for me. Wordy, it just felt really slow.
That first half was very slow, and that's why I had concerns about whether you guys would like it or not.
It's I mean, and I was in my brain, I was thinking this would work better as a TV show.
I'd say, yeah, I did too.
Not if you love to read, then this will be no problem.
Yeah, and I know you always say that, Adam, that this is good for TV, but this really is. I agree with you
because it is very wordy. But I said that it's so wordy at the beginning.
I mean, I don't know if there's a reason why. I mean, I don't think there's like a comedy noir out there. Probably the closest thing would be maybe the show I'm Dying Up Here, which was like based in the 70s, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guarantee you this was written to pitch to TV. Bet you
more
anything.
Than good call. Probably.
Yeah.
But I saw this in previews when it was pit, whatever they call it, advertising previews or whatever.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I liked the premise. When I read the premise, I had to put it on my pull list.
Oh, wow.
But after reading it, I don't have any interest in continuing to pull it. It's just I just don't think I have the attention span for what this thing is asking me.
For comic books?
Yeah, it's like
I understand, dude.
This level of attention, I burnt mine out on Kill or Be Killed.
Yeah, this wasn't really what was going on. This is what was being said. It was a dialogue driven, not even character driven, not story driven. This was a dialogue driven issue. And yeah, it was all jokes, all text jokes. They were like one-offs,
which
little
I'm
jokes.
all about.
And
I'm all about.
But they're throwing in building characters too. Oh wow, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's
dude,
rad.
The whole entire thing, man. The whole series hardcover just came out.
Oh my God,
I can't wait to crack this open and read it again. This is a weapon.
You gotta take the plastic off of it live on air.
Dude.
Get that plastic off of there. Let that thing loose.
No,
Jamie could murder someone with that.
I gotta stretch the spine and stuff properly. You know, I don't want to just like.
Did it come with the red mask? It should have come with.
That'd been awesome, dude.
Right.
Like little red bandana.
Jason has a red mask under that bookshelf back there.
Right.
That it? No more comments about dying is easy.
It was good, but
X minute.
It's gonna be a minute. New Mutants number 3, Ed Bryson, Flaviano, Carlos Lopez doing colors, Travis Lanham on the letters, Tom Muller still giving him shout outs for the design. To the Grave, Armor takes Glob, and Maxime and Manon. Remember those two Frenchies who debuted quite recently in last year's Extermination? Anyway, she wants to track down some mutant pals who have not yet moved to Krakoa. Beak and Angel, along with their 6 freaking kids, I don't know how that happens, are first on her list. Beak's dad's really sick with some fictional disease called Taylor-Ellis disease, which seems to be like Parkinson's. But they heal him with Krakoan plant extract, which is odd because I thought they were giving that Krakoan plant shit to everybody for free. I don't know why Armor had to go visit them with Glob. Whatever. Then some baddies show up and hold the kids hostage. This is a fun issue. It just feels like a New Mutants book. The series is really a reintroduction to the New Mutants characters. Boom Boom shows up, Sage, Beak, Angel, of course. And they pulled away from that sort of space story that they were dealing with in the first 2 issues. So it's just great to see these characters again. Basically, that's what this book is.
You said Boom Boom. I just wanted to say I saw the recent I guess Marvel Legends or whatever action figure of Boom Boom.
Yes.
And her head, they even put in the sculpt of her blowing a bubble.
Yeah.
Like a chewing gum bubble. Like who doesn't like Boom Boom?
She was my favorite part of this, dude.
Yeah.
I had a huge crush on Boom Boom. I forgot all about it until I read this issue again. Also had some really cool infographics where it appears that all of the various New Mutants teams from around, the history of Marvel Comics are all hanging out in the same area of Krakoa. And the traditional student-teacher relationship is gone. And all the students sort of train themselves. All are students, all are teachers, which does not seem like a really, productive way to run a school. But whatever. No one else is reading this but me. X-Force, number 3. Everybody's reading this, I think. Benjamin Percy, Joshua Cassara, Guru Effects doing colors, Joe Caramagna doing letters with Tom Muller. The Skeleton Key.
Sorry.
Professor X, that's okay for Joey C. Professor X was assassinated, and turns out that Domino had her skin flayed off and used by those assassins so that they could overcome Krakoan security. Jean and Beast are enacting the resurrection protocols on Xavier. Wolverine and Kid Omega are hunting down the bad guys, and there's a science team trying to heal one of the assassins for questioning. Short and sweet, Xavier's back. Dom is rescued. The true mutant CIA that is this X-Force team has finally gotten together, with Xavier saying, all right, there's dark crap out there hiding in the shadows. We need our own team to hide in the shadows. And how about that? The bad guys named Xeno, Xeno, are introduced at the same time. But there's a whole lot of subtext about mutants being immortal now and what it means to the overall scope of things. I think this is the best of the X titles right now.
Hands down, it's the best.
So
it is
good.
the best. I didn't even want to read it. All I wanted to read was Fallen Angels, and now this is so freaking good that I want to read more every single week, month, whenever it comes out. How freaking great was that first page, man? With Domino just getting cut up all to pieces, man, and they flip and then her eyes out, and she's all shredded up. Oh God, it's so.
They're healing her on the last page when she's in like this CIA council thing. She's got like the Krakoan leaves on her, so they're healing her. But everything that's going on in the Dawn of X books is sort of establishing the status quo. X-Force feels like it's running away with the status quo and is saying, no, if you get it, you got it. If not, too bad, we're leaving. And I think that's beneficial to the series. Finally, Fallen Angels, number 3, Brian Hill, Simon Kudranski, possibly the artist of the year. Frank De Amarta doing colors with Joe Sabino.
Joe, yes.
Doing letters with Tom Muller, still doing design. Seppuku is the name of this issue. That is a ritual suicide that Japanese samurai used to
Marco,
do.
Seppuku.
Psylocke, Cable, and X-23 are on the trail of Apoth, who is connected to a new drug called Overclock, and they are ambushed by a bad guy when investigating a factory. That's where we start. Lots of fighty fight. Cable gets kidnapped. Kids are also kidnapped. But it turns out that this Apoth wants to end mutant kind and humankind through the use of some sort of techno-organic combination, which makes Cable unique in a way. Again, sorry, still my least favorite Dawn of X title. It just feels detached from everything else.
I'm done with it.
This was supposed to be like 3 mutants who were struggling with a mutant society. Like they felt like they could not be part of a mutant society, and they're just touching the surface, scraping the surface of what that actually should be by introducing all these typical comic book heroic tropes. Get them away from the superheroics. If they're actually wanting to do an internal search, let them do that. This does not feel like they're doing that. But Mr. Hill is still just a talented writer, dude. He is able to weave a story that is just still entertaining. And Simon Kudranski failed a little bit here for me. This wasn't his best work, but still head and shoulders above just about everything else they got going on.
Shampoo.
Just about anywhere else. Yeah, I'm still on it. Marauders, Excalibur, New Mutants, X-Force, and Fallen Angels, all number 4 issues, all dropping next week because thanks, Santa, for ruining a Wednesday this year. Fallen Angels book, you off? You done?
I'm done. It's what I expected X-Force to be. It's just kind of like, oh, this is all right, but I don't want more. When I read X-Force,
I'm flipping.
as soon as I finish it, I want the next issue. It's so freaking good, man. It's so. I was done with X-Men. You guys know this. Through the House of X, Power of X10, whatever they want to call it, I was done with it. But you guys kept talking about it with the X-Minute. You and Jason every single week talking about these X books, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go Fallen Angels because I love Brian Hill.
Whatever.
And I'm going to go X-Force.
That's what they're supposed to do. It's the weekly X-Minute. I'm sorry.
You done getting yourself over? You don't read any of them, but you want to talk during the X-Minute?
I thought it was funny, Adam.
But you guys talking about it, man, it made me want to read it. And I'm going to read the first issue of every book and see if he can pull me back in. And now I'm going to read X-Force and I'm going to read X-Men moving forward. But I'm done with Fallen Angels.
I'm cooling on X-Men too. It's good, but not great.
X-Force is the best X
The
book.
Golden Girls, come on.
I'm
just lucky I wasn't here last week. I'd have ragged all over that Golden Girls nonsense.
I understand people that liked it, and I totally understand people that hated it.
Best new villain.
The Golden Girls.
Oh yeah, best new villains. They're probably going to be in the movie, and it's going to be like worth like $100 that issue.
A Deadpool villain, 100%. Those Golden Girls, perfect Deadpool villain. In the main flagship X-Men title, nope, not for me.
Yeah, it seemed like something that would have happened in Marauders or something like that.
It would have worked anywhere else if it was just a little bit of a silly tangent. I don't want my X book to be silly. I want that
feels like the most serious book that's out there.
I want that sexual tension that they had in that X-Men book, man, with Emma and Jean and Scott. Love it. Fugonaut, are you reading any of this? Are you just stuck in the dark multiverse?
What the heck? Are you serious, Jason?
You gotta catch up. Yeah.
First time Jason's ever been kicked off the show.
He did just pull out like 1,000 pages of Kill or Be Killed. So
Jason's been kicked off the show for the first time.
I can understand why he's behind.
Yeah,
Jason, has that ever happened to you before?
No, I think I have a week paid off. I think in 2 weeks. So I can read a lot of comics then, and I'm going to catch up on X-Men, catch up on Oblivion Song, and a bunch of other good stuff. So maybe the Annihilation stuff, 2099 stuff. I'm going to catch up.
2 weeks off for Christmas, and number 1 on the checklist is reading like 8 issues of Justice League. I'm so far behind.
Yeah. Nice. Oh yeah.
X-Minute done. That's it. Only took 5 minutes. So,
but it was a good man. It's good. There's so many X books though.
Next week's going to be even worse. I can't.
I got to find all my little toys to play with here. Let's get into some random reviews presented by collarandelbowbrand.com. Look at Gomer's face down there selling merch for Collar and Elbow Brand. Collarandelbowbrand.com. Use the promo code ComicCast at checkout. Save 10%. None of you guys will do that. That's okay. Still good advertiser. They have great shirts, man.
They do.
Shirts. Who wants to go first? We have so many books.
Yeah, I got a bunch.
Let's jam. I can jam through mine. Let's all jam through them quick.
Okay.
Quick.
Okay.
Go first. What's on Gomer's pile?
Oh, gosh. Well, I'll start at Detective 1017, Tom Taylor, Fernando Blanco. What a great one-shot. Quite possibly one of my favorite writers of the year. Definitely ranking up there in the top 5.
This is the only one he's going to write?
Yeah. As far as I know.
It felt like a one-shot to me.
Yeah. He's just one and done, just a little filler. And what a great thing for Detective Comics. I'm not sure you could do this in every book where you just have a fill-in writer and artist just for one issue and have it be this cool and this meaningful and poignant to everything that Batman is. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you've watched your Batman or consumed your Batman or whatever. If you know who Batman is, you can pick this up and you will love it. Love this issue. This might be one of my favorite issues of the year.
Only thing I didn't like was the artwork with the snow. The artwork with the snow, you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
That's big, and the story was great.
The thing about it is it kept getting colder and colder.
Yeah.
So I like the way the panels sort of got colder and colder. You know,
I don't mind that, but don't put
winter
so
got
much
worse.
snow that I can't see.
Sure.
I like how you said I'm a little worried that you have a whole entire building full of potential Robins.
Yeah, so many little cool jabs. The part where Damien's like, so you're going to go look for this kid who you've never met, but we haven't
talked to me.
Yeah, and he's like, I know, Damien, I've been busy. He's like, all right, Dad, let's go.
Dude, it's probably getting spoilery. I don't want to say it.
Good, dude.
Just the heart rate monitor, man.
Oh,
that was
inspired writing.
I got chill bumps. I swear I got chill bumps on my arm.
Inspired writing, dude.
Like it sucked, but it had to happen to make the story that much more important.
And it's also important because Batman is out doing everything he can, and he drops his kid off, and him and Damien hang out.
Yeah,
like a fam. And it was just to me, just a perfect issue of Batman.
It needs to be brought up when we're talking about Tom Taylor being in the mix for Writer of the Year.
Without a doubt.
Needs to be brought up.
It's already in my notes.
Like, were those kids being trafficked? Is that what's going on by rich people who pay them?
It appeared that they were being trafficked by the dude who was running the orphanage.
Right. Yeah, and he said like he had no choice. They like threatened him or something, and they
I thought he said they offered him too much money that he couldn't turn down. Which
I heard they threatened him, and then they paid him as well. So I was like, okay,
now, come on, you got Bruce Wayne.
But there are horrible human beings in this world, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
that's where I thought it was so.
Get a little political, but some modern day children disappearing in ICE. There's thousands of children going missing after they capture them and separate them from their parents. So that's really twisted. And a shame of what's going on there, in my opinion. But
no.
In your opinion, it doesn't matter what side of your political stance you're on. You're talking about kids, period. And
some people though are just adamant about defending ICE. Like they're protecting our government, protecting our country, our borders and stuff. Like, look what they're doing. They're having making people disappear like constantly. So it's just really twisted.
And even just human trafficking overall. Even if you don't apply anything, any group to it.
Don't political is out the window.
This still had one foot in reality, and that's where I love my comics, when they're telling a real world story with this camouflage, this of fiction. I love it, dude. It's a great issue, man. I can't read enough. Probably the best thing I read this week, man.
It was good. Yeah, I didn't even know Tom Taylor wrote it until I opened it to read it.
Right. Same.
I was really looking forward to this since it was solicited that Tom Taylor was doing an issue. I was really looking forward to this.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise.
Random reviews. We'll jam through them quick. We spend 5 minutes.
First book, 5 minutes.
It's so good though,
Yeah. I'll run down the rest of them. Lucy Claire Redemption #1. John Upchurch. He did all the work on this. It was a good story with really great artwork. It was a supernatural hunter hero down on her luck who gets pulled back into the business. Very well done. Criminal Macabre, the big bleed out #1. Steve Niles with Gayula Nemeth doing the art. Another winner. This is a PI noir with a supernatural twist. He's got like a zombie dude who's his colleague. He goes on a date with a vampire. It sort of had this comedy thing to it, but it wasn't comedy. It was more that it was just so outrageous, this world they put you in, that everything is serious, but it's really good. Steve Niles is a genius at writing horror and stuff like that, and that's where this fits. Dungeons and Dragons Infernal Tides, #1, Jim Zub and Max Dunbar. It was just really good to have these two guys back on a Dungeons and Dragons book. They're the go-to team for this, and they're back. It's great. Star Trek Voyager, Mirrors and Smoke, Paul Aller, J.K. Woodard. Not really what I expected at all from this, but it's a mirror universe Voyager story, and it was just a whole lot of fun. Finally, Alien versus Predator, Thicker Than Blood, Jeremy Barlow and Doug Wheatley. Predators attack a pleasure cruise in space. Is a unique take for a story in this universe, but it's really good. I read so much more this week, but
you keep going if you want, man.
Man, this is I'm gonna lose my voice.
Wow, he's muted. Gideon Falls, #19, Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino. Best book on the shelf. Quote.
I'm so happy I caught up with that. Read 5 issues today. Yeah.
Nice.
Best book on the shelf. Quote Boogie Bentley. I coined that phrase. Every month, I flip the pages waiting on that 2-page layout that Sorrentino is going to deliver. And it's no different this month. The story, the artwork, the cliffhangers, every single issue, they knock it out of the park. Best book on the shelf, hands down, period. Quote, Comics Misexplained.
Agreed. It is.
Gaumer doesn't know he's still muted. Batman and the Outsiders, #8, Brian Edward Hill, Dexter Soy. This is the start of a new story arc, but this, I thought when they started this, it felt like, okay, here's a chance to catch your breath, because this book has been so just firing on all cylinders. Let's calm down, let's regroup, but that's not Brian Hill's style. He puts the pedal to the floor, and the last few pages of this book set up the next story arc. Ra's al Ghul, that Ra's al Ghul book we read not too long ago, trash. This book puts Ra's al Ghul like as one of the best villains in DC Comics. It's so freaking good. I love the team dynamic. I love the relationship between Jefferson and Bruce. Just a great issue. Superman #18 was so much dialogue to tell you that Clark Kent is Superman.
Wait. Clark Kent is Superman?
Just like they advertised in the previews. We're gonna
next thing you're gonna tell me is Bruce Wayne's Batman.
They just did it 2 years ago.
It's so but what's so stupid is that you advertise it. He's gonna tell the world that he's Clark Kent. Okay, well, guess what happened in the book? He told the world that he's Clark Kent, and that is it. That's all.
Did the world even care? Was the world like, who? Clark who?
Yeah.
Who the hell is Clark Kent?
Like, what's it going to matter to all the villains? Like, what, you're going to have, like, the Riddler be like, oh, no, Clark Kent is Superman? Well, I can totally beat his ass now. Like, you know, it does nothing. It does nothing. It means nothing.
And the selling point was they already know everybody that I'm close to, so I'm just going to tell them. It's so stupid. The only thing to take out of it, Ivan Reyes artwork is so freaking good.
Yeah, I said I'm going to stop reading Bendis Superman, and I'm
still reading it.
I stayed to my word. I stayed to my word. So
I got another book that I'm going to talk about too. So hang tight. Oblivion Song #22, so freaking good. One of the best books on the shelf that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
Big cliffhanger from last month that I talked about, where one of the faceless men from Oblivion was transported to Earth, and everybody's like, what the heck is going on? And in this issue, he says, I'm not faceless, and I'm not even a man. We are the Kuthal, and we only care about ourselves. We don't care about you freaking humans or what you're doing.
Are they aliens or something?
They're the Kuthal, man.
I don't know who that is.
They're from Oblivion. Read the book, bro.
I know. I got to read it.
I just like it because we've been calling them the faceless men for so long. And they're like, well, we're not faceless and we're not men. We don't care what you're doing. We're just doing what we want to do. We're not worried about you or taking over or invading. We're just trying to do what we want to do. Leave us the hell alone. And then on the flip side, Earth is planning another military mission into Oblivion. It's just, dude, it's so freaking good. Miles Morales, Spider-Man #13, good, not great, but I just wanted to mention it because the series has been so freaking good. Is
this the baby sister issue?
Yes.
This is going for $20 on eBay.
Are you kidding me?
Because of the baby sister.
Yeah, she was the very end was she was born. And what's the uncle's name? Aaron. like they show up at the hospital, and like the whole issue is Prowler and Miles kind of like dealing with all these villains and everything. And then at the very end, they show up at the hospital and they're like, dude, your sister. And Miles is like, okay. And Aaron's like, I got to give them their space. I'm going to leave, whatever. And they're like, no, come in. We're family. So
that's cool.
The last page is, the parents and Miles and Aaron all standing around and the baby's born. Not the best issue though. It's just that Saladin Ahmed is doing great things with Miles, and it's better than what Nick Spencer is doing with Peter Parker.
Tom Taylor's killing it on Friendly Neighborhood too, by the way.
That's over.
Still going.
No, it's ended. I thought this issue was the last issue.
There's an issue coming out next week. Friendly Neighborhood 14 comes out next week.
I thought it was done.
Isn't Ahmed still doing Miss Marvel?
I think so.
And he's doing huge things over there. She's got a new Kree suit, all kinds of crazy shit going on, dude, over there.
Let me wrap this up. Fantastic Four number 17 was trash. They need to and I just want them to get through this point of origin story arc, hoping that the next arc is good, and it won't be, and I'll still read it because that's what I do. Jason, what'd you read this week?
I read Dark Knight Returns to Golden Child. I got the 1 in 10 incentive.
Oh, nice.
So it has a lot of dark side in here, a lot of cool art,
a lot of politics,
cool scenes, a lot of politics. You got Trump in there.
Maybe you should stop talking politics and start writing good books.
Was in there.
Yeah, it was. Honestly, this is probably one of the better, probably best Frank Miller books I've read in recent.
You put that freaking kid in a book, you lose all my respect.
I put this above Superman Year One. What else will we have from Frank Miller this year?
Oh, so you put it above a turd in the floor. Good
exactly.
job.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. This is the best thing he's written this year. All the rest is trash. This is kind of worth checking out.
I don't need Greta in a book. That's garbage. Leave it out of my comment.
If he wants to be political, at least he's bald-faced political.
He's
exactly.
Always
he's
that.
always
been like that.
In your face,
like a new thing.
Fruit.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Tom Taylor, what he did with that Detective Comics, that's good politics in books.
Yeah.
Putting Greta, that's doing nothing but clickbait.
Well, that's Frank's style. He's always bold in your face. Yeah.
Learn to write, jerk.
Yeah.
Dark Multiverse Teen Titans. And this is probably the worst one, I think, out of all these.
I'm so glad I argued to get that taken off the list.
those are my 2099 books. They're just piling up. I got to read them.
Dude, yeah. That's what I'm saying. My 2099 are stacking up as well. Let's see what else. Far Sector, issue 2 out of 12. Nothing much happened. You get some background story of I guess she had a girlfriend here on this new planet, and then she's kind of interested in this guy that might be a bad guy. So just that little going on. The art is still amazing, though. It's worth checking out just for the art. It's so good. There's still world building. You still feel kind of lost, but you're learning as she's learning. So it's still kind of a fun adventure at the same time. I'm not sure if I can quite say that it's for me, but I am still enjoying it. Flash number 84. Flash pretty much teams up with the Rogues to try to defeat Captain Cold because they don't want the end of the world to happen, and hopefully they can defeat Lex Luthor after Captain Cold. We have Justice League Odyssey number 16. I didn't really dig this issue very much. It kind of dropped off once Abnett took over. All the other stuff, I say 1 through 10 were really good. And it's kind of gotten worse and worse, but it's still okay. The art is still pretty good. Ocean Master, You're the Villain, number 1. This is interesting. It shows where Ocean Master has been this whole entire time. He's been homeless and stuck after the time of the flood, that Aquaman big event that we had over that Justice League.
Drowned?
Yeah, the Drowned. Yeah, it shows what happens to him after the Drowned.
That was a good little
crossover,
that was a good whatever they called it.
Yeah, that was. He kind of, I guess, at the end gets. He at the end, Lex Luthor offers him something, but he already has his own powers and stuff that he went and did on his own. He's just I don't need you. I don't need anybody. So Lex Luthor's oh, we'll see about that. And that kind of just ends. So, well, I don't know. Maybe Ocean Master will be on the good guy's side. He just wants everyone to stay away from the oceans, as he always does. He doesn't give a crap about anything else. So, cool. Then I think that's pretty much it.
What about you, Adam? Did you read any comic books this week?
Nope. Moving on.
Let's get into the outright geekery. Book of the week.
Oh, no.
Wow. OutrightGeekery.com, your one-stop shop for news, reviews, previews, podcasts, everything Geek at your fingertips. Check out the Outright Geekery podcast network. OutrightGeekery.com.
All right. The Red Mother, #1, written by Jeremy Hahn, art by Danny Luckert, and letters by Ed Dukeshire.
Dukeshire. Dukeshire.
Red Mother.
Red Mother. Don't you put that finger in my eye.
Oh, wow. Carl.
Red Mother.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
The Dukeshire. He is Dukeshire of House Times New Roman.
Adam's like, I can't let you guys get corny
Comic
jokes in.
Sans.
Comic Sans and the Calibri.
The Sun Helvetica.
Bold font. That's quite bold.
Can we mute Adam when he's on the lead?
Dukeshire.
Italic. All right.
Your favorite letterer for all time.
Dukeshire.
Dukeshire.
Oh,
It's like a Bond villain.
I have
Oh
missed
my gosh, Gomer, stop.
I have missed the Dukeshire.
Get him on.
It's like, what's your first name? Ed.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. Lance would have been better.
He was okay. Daisy McDonough and her boyfriend Luke are attacked after a dinner by some mysterious force. Luke goes missing. Daisy loses her right eye. She doesn't know what happened. The police does not know what happened. And now she's getting headaches and seeing these visions of red, and evidently some malevolent force is following her around.
A boogeyman.
And that's pretty much all we get in this first issue.
He's not wrong. I mean, we get a lot more, but I mean, in general,
a lot more.
Well, we get a lot of character. We see.
I
where
actually
she's at,
back.
You know?
I went back through it, trying to like dig through. Like I've started lately looking in the backgrounds and looking into other stuff.
Like reading the comic. I'm sorry. I knew that's why Boogie was laughing.
It's true.
It was really low hanging fruit. That line.
No, that's pretty much it. It's a good opening issue. It's got some great imagery, good art.
Yeah, art's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a good introducing you to the main protagonist, and
that's a good page right there.
Putting some mystery in there, and you don't know what's happened to Luke. Where's Luke?
Where's Luke?
Where's Luke?
He was talking mad smack before he went in there too. Remember?
Who's Luke and what happened? Where did he go? What happened?
It's my theory that Luke stole her eyeball.
Who's Luke?
Yeah, no, what did he do with it?
Like he heard something, and
then he was talking to it.
Yeah, he was like,
yes,
"Oh,
mother."
He said, "Oh yeah, yes, mother." And then he got snatched up.
That freaked me out, dude.
That was one of the best. That was what started things rolling.
Yes.
Why was he talking to this thing?
Oh, it sucked
and
me
acted
right
like he had
in.
a connection to it.
That sucked me right in.
And
from that point forward, I was laser focused on everything else going on in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It was the perfect moment.
I'm trying to
hook you.
I was trying to figure out, because I noticed when they walked out the alley they walked down or whatever, the building beside it was Lucky. It said Lucky Brothers Hardware, blatantly. It's like one of the only buildings that has his name.
Yeah.
And then when she wakes up in the hospital, the word lucky keeps getting thrown around. Oh, you're incredibly lucky, very lucky.
Oh, that's true. Wow.
So I was trying to dig in and see. Because I don't know, I just felt like there was maybe more in the first issue that I was missing, or maybe it is just setting up this.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just setting up. It felt like a pilot, right? Like a pilot. Like this is what's to expect.
And also, if you look at the subway station, it says 33 Streetway Subway, but the number on it is 6. So that's kind of a 666 going on.
Oh.
And so you're saying Luke went to platform 97 and 3 quarters.
No, this would make a good movie as well. We talked about that last.
You're a wizard, Luke.
this would make a good movie. I think I could totally see this in theaters. It seems like a good premise.
But
I like
I
it,
thought
man.
it made a good comic book
personally,
too.
the personally, I don't feel like it was.
You like
It was.
comics? I know.
That's it. But that's it. There you go. You got it. Bingo. Nail on the head. And forget Luke. I've got my own problems. Guy goes disappearing.
I thought this was a great first issue, man. I thought it was well paced because they dip into that horror aspect early, like within the first few pages, and then you kind of go into storytelling mode. But then at the end, you hit with a good horror cliffhanger that says, "Oh, there's something more here. I got to come back to this and see what's going on." The artwork, I thought it was okay for like the regular day-to-day
Maybe it's the coloring I really like. I like how
I thought it was
lights,
great for the horror aspect. I thought it was just not as good for the day-to-day stuff. But when they went horror mode, and then the coloring was great for the horror stuff. But for me, the characters felt real. They felt. It didn't feel like anything was forced. You're watching Daisy go through this. Look, she went through this traumatic experience, and now she's dealing with the aftermath. You're talking about doctor's appointments, therapy sessions, dealing with friends, the aftermath of your dude that's about to move in. Yeah, this dude that's about to move in with you. You can almost, and you got vibes of that in the hospital where the cops are basically like, well, he's to blame. And she's like, well, wait, I don't know that he's to blame. There's more there. And the cops are like, no, he did it. The boyfriend did it.
Like she's the only witness, and the cops are like ignoring
her
gut feeling about this. Yeah. Man, I don't know about the art too. I know what you're saying. Like when it goes red, that is just brilliant.
That's
the horror.
Best.
But if I don't know if you'll show them up, Fugie, but the last few pages when it's
Tell
like
us those last few pages, Jason.
They're walking like down an alley. Or she's walking down the alley. I love that. But if you turn the page,
go back one.
Go back one. It's her still walking down the alley without all that red, and I think that's just as good, man. I'm a big fan of this book. I had a great time. I want to know what's wrong with Daisy. I want to know what her deal is. I want to know.
Where the boyfriend.
You don't care about Luke.
Yeah,
I want to know. Really. I want to know where he's at.
I think he did
it.
Boogie's
already called in a missing persons report.
I think Luke did it. I agree with the cops.
I
love that, dude. Those people panels, that just her walking around, because
the way she's like screaming in public, and then
entity came out of nowhere. It's like walking towards you and slowly blending out of the crowd, and then in your face.
To me, this also had a very cool subtext for mental health and how trauma can trigger mental health problems, and how you can have this trauma. And the rest of the world can just be normal all around you, but you are the one dealing. And that's what's happening in this. Daisy is the only one dealing with this. And it was subtle, but the way the cops deal with that is the way the cops typically deal with trauma. They don't give you any out. And in society, we're just told for some reason that cops are going to give you an out. Justice is going to help you heal. And it's not. And it doesn't. And they're right. And this book puts a light on that. And I loved that aspect of it. And I hope it continues. Loved this, man. Perfect score for me. I loved it.
Oh, wow. I give it a $2.99. $2.99.
I give it $2.99 as well.
I give it $2.99.
Fine. I don't care.
Yeah. Screw
Man,
you.
I'm not going to. I don't plan on picking up the second one, but I give it $2.99.
We knew that.
I want to pick it up. So I'm curious. I want to know what the entity of the Red Mother is.
I want to know
why it shows her, and
there's so much done well in this book that makes you got to have answered. You want to know the answer to
the questions are delivered in such a good way that yes, I am compelled.
Well, maybe it is Daisy is the one who dragged away Luke, and Luke fighting back ripped out her eye.
Of course, you're gonna blame the victim.
Yep.
No, he hates women. He's blaming the woman.
Oh no!
Confirmed. If Chad Johnson was here.
Confirmed.
I almost bought the covers B and C, but I really just like the A cover the best. So
there were some good covers. That unlocked variant looks really good too. So yes, man, good comics this week, man.
Yep, good week for comics.
Look at Mastodon showing up again as the podcast ends.
Oh man,
Donnie,
you can make it better by just hitting that like button, share out the link. Help the analytics for this podcast on YouTube. I think that's going to wrap it up, man. We've already talked about what we're excited about next week.
Oh,
Tune in. next week because Matthew Rosenberg will be here. You will have the opportunity to ask him anything you want to ask him. So come hang out as we chat with writer of The Punisher, Uncanny X-Men, 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. So much cool stuff. Oh, welcome, Matthew Lane. I'm glad you're here as we wrap the show. Thanks, buddy.
Any final words? You're here. We're still glad you're here.
Nothing. That's it. We're done. We're out.
We did it.
Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe come out next week. I don't know why I didn't talk about those. Whatever. I don't like G.I. Joe because Scarlet and this.
What?
Whatever.
I was reading Scarlet Strike Force from a dude that hates my guts.
Man,
what are you talking about?
I so wish that book would have continued. That Cobra Law stuff was going to be so good. Keep your freaking mouth shut, Aubrey Sitterson, and you keep working.
Frank Miller, keep your mouth shut.
The thing about Frank Miller is he's literally one of the best Batman writers of all time. Yeah. And the
Clearly
reason
he doesn't know how to write Superman.
But the reason, I know, right? But the reason he is because he is divisive, and he does make people talk, and then people talk, and then people read his book, and the more people who read your book, the more likely they are to say it's the best Batman book they ever read, because maybe it's the only Batman book they ever read.
And they tell two people.
And they tell two people. And they tell two people.
And here at Comic-Con, when I was there 2 years ago, there was a little panel with him and Jeff Johns. They were together, kind of giving a conversation. It was really awesome. It was like everyone throughout the whole entire convention said that their favorite writer was Frank Miller. And the most inspirational person for them to start writing comic books.
What he did in that book that you just talked about, you've divided half your fan base. You've cut out half of your fan base.
Not really. I think everyone knows what's expected.
That's not true. That's bullcrap. That is true. It is true. Look what Tom Taylor did. No matter what side of the political fence you ride on, it's like I said, you're like, well, not to get political. That shouldn't be political. You're talking about human beings. You're talking about kids. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. But when you rip on Trump and you put this, don't get me started on this Greta kid.
Well,
don't feed your kids what to say and then make them out to be heroes. That's stupid.
But I disagree that he's alienating half his fans by putting people that half of the fans hate in his book. I think a lot of those people who are fans of a certain political leaning that may agree or disagree with whatever he's doing are going to come back because they hate it. They want that shock. They want to be able to get on the internet and whine that this comic book writer who doesn't know nothing about nothing is telling them what to think politically.
Well, sure. Maybe they'll monetize it. Maybe they'll monetize it and make all kinds of money. I just don't.
Smart as hell.
I don't want to read that.
But that's what he's always done, and that's what's made him.
It's just like if you put Trump in a book praising it. I don't want to read that. I don't want Donald Trump in my comic book on either way. I don't want that. I want stories. I don't
mind if he's a character, but I don't really want a political thing on there.
Yeah, Yule said libs hate Miller. And now he's hated by everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing about what he's doing, Frank Miller. I think that's the genius of it. He doesn't care anymore. He's made his money in comics. Now he's just going to do what he wants and alienate everybody.
Let's be honest. Which
I'm more old man doesn't want to piss off everybody.
I'm more offended by the way he wrote Superman than I am this book.
Sure.
Yeah, Superman's awful. It's the worst thing I've read in a very long
time.
Terrible.
So terrible.
Is there any good Superman right now? Is there any good Superman to find anywhere?
I mean, I hear
Batman, Superman
one is good.
Batman, Superman.
Boom! Thank
Joshua
you.
Williams.
I'm going to read that. They're both are over now. The Bendis Batman and the Tom King Superman just finished last week, so I'm going to read all 5 issues of both, and hopefully those won't be the last things I ever read of those writers. I don't know. It might be, but I mean, I hear good things. So
really,
seems like
about the Walmart stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's all getting collected.
I heard that they really miscast the assignments of Batman, Superman to the writers, but I think that was because Bendis didn't want to write Batman. So
I think it's because they do better when it's a short burst. When they have to write a marathon, they don't make it entertaining until the moment that they have that it's going to be entertaining. King stuff was great up until like after the wedding, and it got into nightmares, and it just got tedious and boring. But Bendis, you can tell. He's playing the long game on everything he's got going on, and it's not going to pay off for years possibly. I don't want to wait. I want to be entertained right now.
Yeah, I mean Hickman plays the best long game ever. I think So.
But he keeps entertaining as he's getting there.
Talking about the Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls. I think I upset Serenity talking shit on the Golden Girls. I'm sorry. I wasn't a fan.
I heard other people say that. So
they just seem too comedic for me. You know, maybe that's my own prejudices
I think I
against
said
old
it
people.
right here
I've
on this
made that.
podcast last
I've made
week.
that very well known that I hate old people.
That's right.
I do. I
They
really
hate you too. Don't worry
They
about it.
do. That's
Let's
fine.
get a wrap it
I
up.
used to feel that way,
Gomer
but I
is
think
the
I-
anti-boomer.
I am.
We gotta wrap up this episode of ComicCast, but we will be back next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern
hey, Big
Standard
Willie.
Time, talking to Matthew Rosenberg. So come hang out, come bring questions.
Who?
He played Lex Luthor on Smallville.
I hope Adam rips on him and talks about how much his comic books suck.
Yeah.
We'll see you
I
guys
Awesome.
next
didn't
week.
read it.